You're a grown adult. You pay bills, make decisions, handle responsibilities. And yet, sometimes, out of nowhere, you shut down in an argument instead of speaking up. You over-explain yourself to people who don't deserve the explanation. You sabotage something good because deep down, you don't quite believe you're allowed to have it. Where does that come from? Here's the answer nobody tells you. Neuroscientists estimate that approximately 95% of our daily behavior runs on subconscious programming. And the majority of that programming was locked in before you turned 7 years old, before you could critically evaluate it, before you even had the language to question it. That means the version of you sitting here right now, the adult with the job, the relationships, the responsibilities, is still, in many ways, being steered by a child who is just trying to survive. And today, we're going to show you exactly how that happens and what you can do about it. Let's go back to the beginning. Not your beginning, your brain's beginning. In the first 7 years of life, neuroscientists have found that children predominantly operate in a brainwave state called theta, the same state adults enter during deep hypnosis or just before sleep. In theta, the brain is essentially a wide-open recording device. No filter, no critical faculty. Everything goes straight in. This is brilliant for learning language, absorbing culture, understanding social rules. But here's the problem. It also means that every time a parent snapped, every time you were told you were too much, too sensitive, not good enough, it didn't get filed as an opinion. It got filed as truth. Developmental psychologist Bruce Lipton calls this period the programmable years, and his research suggests that the beliefs formed in this window become the default operating system of the adult mind. You didn't choose your programming. You inherited it. Now, here's where it gets personal, and this is the part most people feel in their chest. Psychologist John Bradshaw introduced the concept of the inner child, the part of your psyche that still carries the emotional imprints of early experience. But it wasn't just a metaphor. Modern neuroscience backs this up. Research using fMRI imaging has shown that emotional memories formed in childhood are stored in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, and they get triggered in adulthood by situations that rhyme with the original experience. Not identical situations, just ones that feel similar. Here's the analogy. Imagine your childhood experiences burned a groove into a vinyl record. Now, every time life puts the needle down, a critical boss, a distant partner, a moment of failure, the record plays the same old song, automatically, before your conscious mind even realizes what's happening. That's why you can know intellectually that your partner isn't your critical parent and still react as if they are. Psychologists call this schema activation, a term developed by Dr. Jeffrey Young in schema therapy. Schemas are deep emotional patterns formed in childhood around core needs: safety, love, autonomy, worth. When those needs weren't consistently met, the schema forms and spends the rest of your life looking for evidence that it was right. A child who learned that love was conditional develops a schema that says, "I must perform to be worthy." An adult with that schema overworks, over-apologizes, and feels vague anxiety when things are going too well. Sound familiar? Here's what the research also tells us, though, and this matters deeply. The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity research, pioneered by figures like Michael Merzenich, confirms that the brain can form new neural pathways at any age. The record can be regrooved. The programming can be rewritten, but only if you first see it. The moment you recognize a triggered reaction, pause, name it, and ask, "How old do I feel right now?" You're no longer running on autopilot. You're inserting the adult you between the stimulus and the response. That gap, tiny as it is where your freedom lives. Your 7-year-old self did the best they could with what they had. Now, it's your turn to take the wheel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next briefing.